I know, I'm fixing it.
I have cloned myself 3 times now, and they're getting worse every time. Can someone please find the manual? Hello, I'm
I know,
Spike.
What is that from, Spike? I'm Kel.
Literally nothing. I have cloned
Okay.
myself 3 times now, and they're
In the
getting worse
past few
every
times,
time.
there've been a quote from
Yes, they've been
something.
references.
I'm a wild card, baby.
Wild card, bitches!
Wild card,
Woo!
bitch. That's me. That's fucking me. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Geek Show. It's nice to see you, folks. Nice to hear.
Amanda did not introduce herself.
I'm
Oh yeah,
Amanda.
hi, Amanda.
I mean, my name. Oh, I'm sorry. God, y'all got my wires crossed. I was tweeting that we are live, and I just typed "I'm live."
I'm live.
I'm
The
live. Let
final
me just
tweet.
fix that.
I'm
We're
live.
live.
I'm live. Final tweet.
I mean, my
I've
name is
shared a
under my
GIF with
character.
you.
Mm,
Yes, that is the thing y'all said.
it
The
is.
reference. I get it.
Wild card, bitches! Yeah.
Love to reference a thing.
How's everybody doing today?
Sleepy.
All right.
That's good.
I've been watching the Always Sunny in Philadelphia podcast,
Uh-huh.
which is also their YouTube show. And because since it's been on for forever, they're like rewatching it and commenting on it.
Mhm.
And it's very funny how much they're like their characters, even if they don't
Oh.
want to admit it.
Oh, okay.
There is a bit where Charlie Day goes off on a tangent about how cars should be giant rubber balls, so when we get into accidents, we don't hurt one another.
The man has a point.
Still impractical. Like I understand the logic, but also impractical. But
Yeah.
I ate too much.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amanda. It's a rough life you lead, huh? Whereas I have gotten back, for my part, I have gotten back into Sailwind, which is a game that I've been playing for a while now, which is incredibly chill, incredibly sedate. And it's one of those games where you are just sort of doing a very simple job. It's probably comparable to like those games where you're cleaning a pool or power washing a house or driving a bus. Except in Sailwind, you are in sort of this quasi fantasy land, not really fantastical, but no place on earth. And you are just someone who owns a ship and you take deliveries and you deliver packages between island chains. And that's it. That's all you do. And I really like it when I just want to like, because I've had a fucking stressful ass day. I've had like 3 meetings. I'm trying to do all kinds of shit for Iron Circus. We have a lot of big stuff coming up, and we're at that point now where no one really even thinks about not emailing me or rather texting me at 1 a.m. And I just kind of have to fucking take it. And I have to take it for the foreseeable future. And so I kind of like, I don't get peace. I don't get any fucking peace. And it's nice to have a game where I can just pretend, oh, this cart of olives needs to be at Alchemist's Island in 3 days. Better set course, but not before loading up my ship with goat cheese and potable water. And like
who is texting you at 1 a.m.?
people.
Okay.
See,
It's honestly not as horrible as it sounds. It's mostly a time zone issue.
I was
Okay.
I was up kind of later than I needed to be because I'm stupid and I don't plan right. I was at the Iron Circus warehouse counting books and taking
Yes.
photos of the book. In fact, I need to drop those photos in the Dropbox.
Yes. We've had conversations about your sort of baptism by fire into just how damaged a damaged book can be.
Yes. I got Matt to help me get some B-roll of
Mhm.
the book of the truly awful damaged books.
Mhm.
Like, oh, they are nasty.
They are.
Also, we got treasures. I'm sure Matt told you about our treasures.
Oh, he did. He did
Our
mention
little
the treasures. Yeah.
We
You
got
got some accidental books.
Yes.
yeah, well, not all books. We got basically just they weren't meant to be in the boxes, but they're ours now. One was a very chewed up little hardback book about something I don't know. Two were two Topatico books, and they are mine
Oh,
now.
wow.
They're mine now.
Cool.
You
Oh,
can't
okay.
have them. They're already
Okay.
on my shelf. They're two
Okay.
Beartato books, and they're mine now. You
Potato.
can
Yeah.
have them. And then a 2021 calendar of trains.
Excellent.
And that's ours now. These are our little treasures.
So 2021, so perfect, still totally usable,
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And trains, love
Yes.
it, need it, gotta have
Yes.
it.
Important.
So glad that we can do this for
I
you,
took
Amanda.
lots of
So glad.
photos and video, and I'm going to make an ad for the cute little cheeky ad for the ale,
Yeah, good. For the Instagram
Um,
and yeah,
etc.
that'd be great.
it's been going around the internet. Did you see the guy who was in Everything Everywhere All at Once when his Golden
God,
Globe award?
yes. Yes.
That's so sweet and heartwarming.
I've loved that dude
Him.
since forever. I don't
I
want to be
don't
one
know
of
what y'all are
those.
talking about.
There was a
So
movie A24 put out called Everything Everywhere All at Once that everyone was really enjoying. And one of the actors in it is a guy who has been in Hollywood for 1,000 years. If you're as old as I
well,
am, you probably recognize him as Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I've
the
never
thing
seen
is,
that.
okay, so basically though, Spike, he's been around for a while, but the thing is like, Amanda, he was in a lot of 80s movies as a kid.
Yep.
And then he stopped getting acting work once he went through puberty.
Tale
And
as
so
old as time.
his thank you speech is he talks about how he was worried that he was never going to top something he did when he was 10, and he just like wasn't like being successful, and like is this it for him,
Yep.
and now he is getting a huge amount of success as a 50-year-old man.
Yeah.
So that's more like his thank you speech is, I feel, very heartwarming, because it was like he kind of, it makes it seem like he had almost given up,
Yeah.
and this movie like revitalized his career and people's interest in him,
Yeah.
and he is like in tears by the end of it,
Yeah, he was shouting
and
out Steven Spielberg because Steven Spielberg was in the audience and, you know,
um
gave him his first big break, as it were. And it was just really
yeah,
sweet. And it was just really cool to see that is all. And
yeah, but I was more touched by the, like, he thought that he was done,
yeah,
and
which
went
is,
top.
as an 80s child actor, not to be crass, but the majority of them are. They're done. They've had their best days. And I have mentioned this before on this show, but as a person who is now firmly in middle age and still perceives with justification an upward trajectory for my life, I can't think of anything more horrific than peaking at like 9. Like,
I
you got
mean,
a whole lot of life to live after that, you know?
I don't know.
It depends on your type of personality, because like um I do know from one of those "Where Are They Now" articles that the guy who played Chunk in the Goonies,
Oh yeah, he's fine.
uh he like, that was it. He did his one role as the fat kid in the movie, and then he was like, "I'm done acting."
Yeah,
And he's like, I don't want to talk about being Chunk ever again.
fair
And
enough.
he's now an entertainment lawyer, and he's apparently the entertainment lawyer for the guy who just won the award. But
That's
yeah, that
cool.
he's probably like
Yeah.
didn't really care that he wasn't topping Chunk, because he doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
And I get it. I fucking get. I actually I've been inundated lately with ads trying to get me to subscribe to HBO Max. And one of the things they show me a lot is, for some reason, in, fucking damn near mid-January, they're showing me, "Hey, look at our fantastic collection of Christmas movies." And one of the things they showed me, which I had to wait for the ad to run 2 or 3 times before I saw it, because I at first was like, "Wait, is that really what I think it is?" But people my age, and maybe people y'all's age too, I'm not sure, they might
I'm an
remember.
outlier because I didn't see things.
Yeah, there was a perennial Christmas special called A Christmas Story about a
Oh
little
God,
boy
I've
and
seen that piece of
yeah,
shit.
Everyone's seen that 1,000
hate
times, and
that movie.
it's about a little boy growing up in mid-century America named Ralphie who wants a Red Ryder BB
See,
gun for Chris I haven't seen
see,
it in fucking years, but I've
Spike.
seen it so much.
Well,
Well, let me finish the story,
Spike.
though. Let me finish the story, though. Um, and he shoots his he shoots his eye out, blah, 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 just like his mom told him he would. And while I was watching the HBO ads, a thing came up, and it was called A Christmas Story Christmas. I was like, "Fucking wait, what?" And I watched it more closely the second time, and sure as shit, there's like a 55-year-old man there, and a whole bunch of people look at him and they go, "Ralphie!" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And I'm sure, like, to
Uh,
most people, that's cute and heartwarming, but to me, I was like, "Oh god, imagine, like,
I
this
hate that
dude."
that movie exists. I hate that that movie
Yeah.
exists. Um,
Yeah, I
the
get it, but just imagine,
the
like, again, he peaked at 9, kind of
well,
indisputably.
no, if because I've also looked into what he's doing,
Uh-huh.
because he's a producer and a director,
Oh,
so
shit, never mind, never mind.
he's fine. Yeah,
He's fine. I've
uh,
gotten
Like,
more of the yeah.
here's the thing. I feel weird saying people peaked as child actors when it's like it wasn't even something they chose to do. Like you can argue that like, oh, they wanted to do it, but like
Eh,
no,
yeah,
they're
some do, most don't. Some do, most don't.
but even still like is it
Yeah.
really an achievement if they didn't want it? You know what I mean?
I get you.
yeah. So that's
Here's the
why I
thing.
think
I
like
feel like we do not consider crimes to be of the same uh severity if someone's under 18. I don't think their quote unquote accomplishments should be held to the same standards if they are under 18 as well because like you
I
didn't
fucking know.
fucking do that. You didn't dream of
uh
that and work for it. Your parents did
so
that and maybe they forced you to do it.
Oh my
which
god, I
is
love
which is why like in the case of the guy who just won, I forget his name because I'm so bad with actors' names.
Mhm.
Uh, he made it very clear from his speech that he was trying to get a role that was as prominent as something he did as a child and
Right,
was not succeeding until Everything Everywhere All at Once.
and now he
Um,
probably has his pick of the litter.
yeah, no, if you go to his Wikipedia page, it's like under awards there's like 3 that he was nominated for as a child and then
Mhm.
it's like 30 for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
um but so Spike, on the topic of the sequel for A Christmas Story, I found out about that before seeing the ad because
Well, no, this
social
is
media
different. This is not
algorithms.
Spike was not talking about a sequel.
No, Spike was because she said that the guy was going back to his old role to. That
Yeah.
was your point, right, Spike?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Um, so they did make a he
There
is in a
is a
sequel for
sequel.
a
No,
Christmas.
there is a sequel, but Christmas Story Christmas isn't the sequel.
It's not?
No, it's just Christmas Story 2. Isn't it? Great, now I gotta look this up.
This is a new sequel that is also about like it is supposed to be about Ralphie as an
Yeah,
adult.
I was about to say, is it not a sequel even though it's still about Ralphie and it's
No,
still the same
this is a trilogy now.
Okay.
I
Okay, so
don't
there is a
Um
sequel. This is the third one, whatever you call the third one.
yeah.
Jesus.
All right. It's still a sequel. But
See,
anyway,
that's why I was
so
confused. I did not realize there was another one.
Okay, I was
yeah,
confused too.
I didn't know about the second one either, but I did know about this new one because social media algorithms showing me things,
I was
and
spared.
I was immediately like, I hate that this exists. Like before I even saw a commercial, like the its existence, I was like, I hate this. I hate its existence.
Mhm.
Funny thing that A Christmas Story and It's a Wonderful Life have in common is they both became Christmas classics because they were cheap to show on television.
Yep, that's how
Because
it
no one
goes.
cared about them at the time. And so through sheer repetition on Christmas, they became Christmas
What was
classics.
it with the first one you mentioned? The, wasn't that one not just cheap but free?
It might have been free. I know that it was either insanely cheap or it was free. It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, for a lot of
Because
things.
like no one gave a shit about it until it was on TV nonstop.
Yeah,
Mm,
there's
I
actually
felt I felt learning that about Christmas Story was so vindicating because I was like, oh, so it's not a classic because it's good. Okay, cool.
it's a classic because people kept showing it. I understand if you have a cable television channel picking a Christmas Story out of other cheap Christmas movies, um, because since it doesn't really have an overarching plot except that he wants a Red Ryder BB gun, um,
No,
it's easy to like come in and out.
I would take 50 shitty Hallmark Christmas movies over that.
I'm just saying that like
No,
because it's easy to come in and out of on Christmas Day, they're assuming that you're not actually watching TV.
you can do the
You're
same with all those shitty Hallmark.
Yeah. Did you watch Drew Gooden's reviews of Hallmark
Which
shitty
ones he
Christmas
makes
movies?
so many.
His newest one, where he talks about the lady who's paid $12,000 to
Yes,
decorate for a
I did
Christmas
see that
party,
one.
and she puts up a couple of bows.
Yes, I did see that one.
I was like, that's the greatest scam in the world. That lady
Yeah.
should
How do I get that
yeah,
job?
yeah, I spent $50 on bows. I'm done calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some rich people who are very out of touch and quite stupid. You could convince
Yeah.
them. There are like rich people who
Uh,
I'm sure are just fleeced daily and they don't know it and they don't care.
Yeah.
it's a banana, Michael. How much can it cost?
Yeah.
$10?
Yeah.
That's
But
Arrested Development, isn't it? I
Yes.
recognize the GIF.
Yes.
I haven't seen the show. I just recognize the GIF at this point.
It's a very gifable show.
it's an extremely gifable show, clearly. A lot of people remember that bit. But yeah,
I'm so tired.
the origins
Put
of
me to
things that are
bed.
like the origin of things that are like considered classics, a lot of them just have, it's what we could afford as the origin story. The very uninspiring origin story is just like, yeah, it was cheap. My favorite version of that is like anyone my age kind of equates MTV with the spaceman. Like the MTV spaceman was a thing because when MTV first launched, when it first came on the air, its branding was Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong, except they superimposed, they are planting the flag with the MTV
Mm-hmm.
logo on the moon. And the reason they went with that for their first round of branding is
Public
all
domain?
media produced by NASA is owned by the American people and is therefore automatically upon creation in the public domain. It was literally free.
Like
Yay!
they paid someone to put their logo on the flag, and that's all it costs. They're like,
Exactly.
done.
Exactly.
Um, my favorite story along those lines is when stuff that people count as like important monster lore gets
Mhm.
established because of budgets in horror
Yeah.
movies that people forget about. Do you know why vampires burn in the sun?
Because in the first vampire movie, they just wanted him to fade into nothingness when the sun came out.
Basically, because it's Nosferatu, which
Mhm.
is a ripoff of Dracula. So much of a ripoff of Dracula that they got sued by Bram Stoker's estate, and Bram Stoker's estate won. But they ran out of. Dracula ends with a big fight scene.
Uh-huh.
It's a fight scene that's off camera because all of Dracula is written like by journals and letters.
Mhm.
But they can't do the big fight scene because they're out of budget, and it's like, well, what if the sun comes up and that kills him? And and that was their solution because they were out of money.
Yeah.
And then I also like that so many movies and TV shows have vampires with retractable fangs because it was too difficult for actors to talk with fake teeth in their mouth.
That makes perfect sense because I've
Yeah,
seen them trying to talk with fake teeth in their mouth, and it's rough.
yeah. That's why they like pop out like that in True Blood, and
Mhm.
why in Buffy they get monster face. It is literally because it is too hard for actors to talk
Yeah.
with cheap plastic teeth.
It makes me think I
Um,
saw, like, God, years ago, a decade plus easily, I saw a news report, but it was like, trashy news, like tabloid TV news report on it's like, "Some young people are calling themselves vampires," and,
It
like, they
was
were
me. It was
interviewing
high school. I got those little moldable fangs.
and they were interviewing someone who's like, "I am a vampire." And his proof of him truly being a vampire on an inside is he'd actually gone to an orthodontist and had extended caps put over his canine teeth. And
Like me in high
holy
school.
shit, did it give him a speech impediment. Oh god, it like you had to like listen extra close the same way you would do to like a toddler who's just learning to talk to make
yeah.
sense of him.
I had like
Uh,
those caps. I had like the caps that I got from Hot Topic in high school. They made me drool.
Oh no.
uh, what on the topic of like talking with fake teeth is
Mhm,
so right now Lower Decks is a Star Trek cartoon that's
right.
like it's pretty funny. But so they had an episode where they go visit the space station that DS9 takes place in,
Mhm,
and they have Quark, the alien bartender in DS9,
mhm,
like as in the cartoon. And since it's a cartoon, the actor doesn't have to put on all the makeup, so it's easy to get him to come on.
mhm.
But he was like, "Well, I need the fake teeth, or the voice isn't going to be the same." Like,
Yeah,
so while he didn't have to put on all the makeup, he did still put on the fake teeth.
because he
Because he's
had
like,
to.
otherwise it wouldn't sound right.
Yeah, he would be Quark.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my memories of Star Trek one of my memories of Star Trek, excuse me, was I once saw a blooper reel, and I think it was for Voyager,
Oh, sorry about the
and
computer noises my computer's making.
I literally heard nothing.
That's not
But,
for. That was
Yeah.
not an apology to you. Bike.
did anyone hear anything? Anyone?
They no,
Anyone?
they absolutely did because it picks up
Okay.
my speaker sounds.
No, no, they didn't hear it. Anyway,
Bike.
uh, one of the most common bloopers on set at Star Trek was, "Oops, my false teeth fell out in the middle of a sentence." Because a whole
Yeah.
bunch of the aliens, it's one of the
Yeah, they
cheaper
need their fake teeth.
appliances. Yeah, one of the cheaper
Yeah.
appliances that you can give an alien is fake teeth.
That's
And
why
they
also why everyone has bumpy foreheads.
Yeah, yeah, Star Trek aliens with just humans except for a paint job and a silicone appliance.
See, Spike, they heard.
Uh,
You think you know it.
I do know everything. I do. I do.
uh,
Yeah, Upper Decks is one of those
Oh,
things
I can
where
receive
lower.
emails.
You mean lower decks.
Lower Decks,
But
sorry.
yeah,
They have the dolphins in that, right?
yes,
Okay. Yeah, it's
the
one of those.
dolphins have appeared in one episode. But
Well,
yes,
that's
they.
more than they've appeared in any other Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
And I get it. I'm not even bagging on Star Trek for that. That's expensive shit. And animal welfare, et cetera, even if you want to do real animals and not CGI. But I think it's funny. I think it's funny that for literal years, it was just like a thing where they would mention there are dolphins on this ship. And that's like as far as it went. You never saw the dolphins. But all the Star Trek, if you're the kind of person that went and bought books that were all like, here's a cross section of the USS Enterprise, they'd be like, and here's the dolphin living quarters.
there
Never saw 'em.
is when I was last rewatching DS9, because DS9 is my favorite Trek.
Uh-huh.
There um while I was rewatching it, Corey Bing linked me to an artist who redesigned all of the DS9 aliens to as a what if we weren't limited by prosthetics at the time? What can I make them look like and
Right.
have it make sense? And so that is fun because like so basically the plot of DS9 is there are these lizard-looking aliens called the Cardassians, and they have colonized and oppressed this planet that the Federation is helping with restoration after they have successfully kicked the Cardassians out.
Sure.
And so the planet that's getting helped, they're called the Bajorans. And so this artist, they're like, okay, well, the reptile guys, they're based off snakes. Like it is textual, like in like extra information that they were like, we were going for something snaky. She's like, so I'm gonna make them more snaky with like slit eyes and fangs. And since they're always fighting the Bajorans, I'm gonna make them look kind of mongoosey.
Oh
So we get a
god.
nice visual metaphor going on.
Uh-huh.
But I thought that was fun
That
because
does sound
she
cute.
gave them all like little buck teeth and mousy ears. Um,
So all of us here are aware of Barlow's Extraterrestrials, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just making
yes.
sure. That's one of my favorite. Let me imagine these
My
aliens
mom
books.
had that book and I had no idea what it was and it wigged me the fuck out.
Oh. For folks who aren't aware, Barlow's Extraterrestrials, there is a fantasy artist named Wayne Douglas Barlow who is very cool. And he went and illustrated, according to the descriptions of the authors, many alien species in many notable sci-fi novels. And my personal favorite is Ursula K. Le Guin's, I believe I'm going to fuck the title up. The word for world is forest, which is
Hmm.
an anti-colonialism story about humans just absolutely fucking up a forested world with an intelligent indigenous in population and them just actually absolutely catching hell because, colonialism. And it's like green hairy imp men and I just really liked them.
Yeah.
I think
But he
why
Um,
that
also
book freaked me out as a kid is because like I didn't get that it was fiction.
Oh no.
But
Oh Amanda.
well, it didn't make sense because I didn't know what it was referencing,
Oh yeah,
and I was a
I'll
little
bet.
bitty baby, and I'm
Yeah.
reading it, and I'm just like, but at the same time, I knew aliens as we understand it aren't a thing. I was extremely confused. Like I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What is this supposed to be?
How? How can you?
Yeah.
How can you say these things, book?
Yeah.
You you lie to me,
Yeah.
book.
Yeah, he also did a really good Puppeteer, which is from Ringworld. And it's I don't even know. Do people still read Ringworld? I don't even fucking know. That's an old one. But suffice to say, there is a book called Ringworld, and in Ringworld, there is a alien species that human beings simply call puppeteers, and they are notorious for, first of all, they evolved from a prey species. Unlike human beings and unlike kind of the rest of the cosmos,
mhm,
they evolved sapiens as a prey species. And as a result, they have like this completely different outlook on the universe as everyone else and it is dominated by cowardice, which is their primary personality trait. And they don't consider this a failing in any way. That is just how they are. But this has
mhm,
produced some really interesting side effects in that they produce the safest, most foolproof technology in the galaxy because they are terrified of, for example, their ships blowing up.
mhm.
So they've never had like a Challenger shuttle moment ever because they would never allow that to happen because they're terrified of everything. And I thought that was really
Yeah.
interesting.
Star Trek Discovery has an alien species like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Doug Jones plays
Oh,
the
hey,
main
Doug.
yeah, he plays the main alien representative of that species. So like he's like the first officer and he's like we should just run. Like he's always like
Yeah.
they're gonna shoot at us and we need to put up our shields immediately. Like
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I really like that in Ringworld because it kind of was a fun thought experiment. Like I never considered shit like that having an effect on the outcome of like a species, like evolving from a prey
mhm,
animal. Of course, you'd think differently than fucking stupid ape people like us, And a lot of other aliens, when people are imagining them, they kind of are still in the mold of humanity when
I mean,
they kind
you
of
say
they
that,
became
but I
these
guess it depends on the animal because I think rats would
yeah.
probably turn out similar to humans.
I think rats would turn out very similar to humans because humans weren't just meat eaters. I think scavengers in general
But also, I mean, like,
have,
socially and stuff.
yeah, but I think
Yeah.
scavengers in general have a very high propensity to sort of, let's call it something that we can easily interpret as flexible and dynamic intelligence because
Mhm.
they're opportunists. And if, to be frank, I mean, if you're a cow,
And
food
I
is
am.
everywhere. Amanda, if you're a cow, food is everywhere. You don't have to look that hard for it. You put your head down on the floor and there it is. You're done. Good for you. You found it. So there's not a lot of serious intelligence
That's why
involving
I'm
in that
always farting.
in that Amanda, in that particular direction. There's not a lot of intelligence always evolving. But if you're a raccoon or you're a coyote or you're a human being, you're just like, oh, hey, shit. Oh, is this a snail? I'm gonna eat this fucking snail. Let's see if I can eat the fucking snail. Oh, is this moss? I'm just gonna eat this moss. Let's see if is that a fucking gazelle? I'm gonna eat that fucking gazelle. This thing I found in the ocean that lives in a hard shell. You know what? I'm fucking eating it. And like that's kind of humanity's whole deal. We're just like fucking garbage bins, just like raccoons, just like opossums, just like rats.
What's interesting is raccoons didn't like start out like raccoons are really just meant to eat crustaceans and stuff.
Yeah, they're little fisher folk, aren't they?
But like we forget that because they kind of like were like, well,
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. But look at
They
all this
are
Mhm.
garbage.
they're one of the few and very after a fashion, I guess you could say, lucky species that benefit from humans
Like
basically being fucking
like
inescapable
that's why
now.
they got the little creepy hand. It's for
They are
crustaceans.
not creepy, they're lovely.
They're
I
very
love
lovely until
raccoon
you see
hands.
those little hands reaching between the planks of your deck.
I fucking love
Then it's
those little
very
hands.
creepy.
I love those beautiful,
Uh,
sweet little
They're
hands.
very cute and sweet.
uh,
Again, until they're reaching through the cracks of your deck.
Amanda, is this
uh,
trauma?
Not trauma, just I have eyeballs.
They're adorable, and I will be nothing.
the other another creature that has benefited from humans is coyotes are
Oh,
very
yeah.
good mooching off
And
humans.
eating our cats.
Yeah, and it's not
Yes.
just mooching, they have directly benefited from our desire to basically kill everything, every, apex predator in North America. They were kept in check once upon a time by things like wolves and bears, and that is just simply not the case anymore.
Well, it's also like coyotes have realized that highways lead to
Oh, yeah.
people and therefore like food they can scavenge and cats
Yep.
they can eat. Um,
Yeah, my,
so
brother-in-law's family cat got eaten by a coyote, so I get it.
What's that fucking
I
tweet
mean,
where someone was like, "Oh God, I gotta find it," but it's like someone like was like their neighbor was like getting a new cat every time
Yeah,
it got
the
eaten by
coyotes
one got
ate
eaten
it.
by a coyote, and someone's like, "It sounds like you're just feeding the local coyotes new cats," and like they
Not cats,
made
it's
like the
cat,
daughter
yeah.
cry.
Well, it's true.
I gotta
I
look
mean
that up. I want to make sure I'm saying it right.
I don't wanna be horrific or anything, but I think people in this day and age in certain locales, if you're gonna fucking rock an outdoor cat, like, is that moral? I kinda don't think so.
I mean, it's
Okay,
not
here it
moral,
is. I
not
found
just
the
because
tweet.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's my neighbor told me
like
coyotes keep eating his outdoor cat, so I asked how many cats he has, and he said he just goes to the shelter and gets a new cat afterwards. So I said, it sounds like he's just feeding shelter cats to coyotes, and then his daughter started crying.
Oh,
um
he's not wrong.
uh Spike, it is immoral for not just you're feeding those cats to the local coyote population, but also because cats are
Cats
decimating
should not be outdoor animals.
Yeah, also
yeah,
that.
they're decimating the local bird population
Songbirds, yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, even if there
Um
weren't coyotes kind of everywhere now, cats do incredible damage to the biosphere. Domestic cats, I should
yeah.
say, do incredible damage.
Because like so people in England and Europe, since they don't have coyotes, like aren't as militant about your cats shouldn't be outdoors
Mhm,
as US people are. Like I have talked to non-North American people who are surprised by how you should not have your cat outside like Americans are.
mhm.
And um partly they're not getting their cats eaten by coyotes, but
Yeah, I'll bet.
they are still damaging the environment because of songbirds and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, just cats
but
get like they've actually like it's been proven their lifespans get shortened considerably when they're outdoor
Oh yeah.
cats.
Oh, for sure, for
yeah,
sure, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think to myself sometimes, like, if you have outdoor cats and they're just kind of outdoor as a rule, basically what happens is one day your cat just doesn't fucking come home. And I think sometimes, like, I'm not a parent, but I don't know if I could, like, do that to any child of mine that was, like, obviously she or he loves their kitty cat, and then the cat just doesn't come home. It's been 2 weeks, and then the kid comes to you, and the kid's all, "Where's Sparkles?" And you need to explain Sparkles is lying dead and alone somewhere, or in the
Oh,
stomach of a coyote,
oh,
or
that's cute that you think they say anything.
yeah, we
Well,
just
fuck.
I
don't know where
didn't know that.
Sparkles went.
I didn't know that
I'm
Patches died for 2 years.
It's just it just feels bad.
Spike. Uh, the cat I had as a child died fighting a coyote.
Yeah, that's not cool though, you know?
No, but
It's
my point was
Yeah,
sometimes they just don't tell you at all, and the
yeah,
yes,
cat dies, and you
yeah,
find out 2 years
these,
later.
yeah. That's just
um,
depressing.
to be fair, the
Yeah,
cat that I had as a kid was very good at murder.
yeah.
He maybe single-handedly short killed all of the songbird population in the neighborhood. He is
Mhm,
sort of like in Discworld, you know, Nanny Ogg's cat Grebo.
mhm.
That's kind of the cat I had as a child. So when he got eaten by a coyote, he was 12, so he was pretty old um for an outdoor cat.
Uh-huh.
Um and I compare I when I found this out, I was like, that's kind of like if you heard that your grandpa died in a bar knife fight.
Hmm.
Like, it's bad, but also slightly impressive because of how old they were when that happened.
Oh, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's bad, but you also saw it coming.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If grandpa's repeatedly getting in knife fights in a bar,
Yeah.
Like
um,
if that cat was gonna go, it was gonna either that cat was either gonna A, die fighting a coyote, or B, pick the wrong
he was
squirrel.
he
Mhm.
was gonna die fighting something.
Yeah.
He was gonna get outplayed by the one squirrel.
Um, so
At least he got to go
yeah.
out with like some dignity, and he'd get like outsmarted by a chip.
Uh, I remember once we took him to the vet, and he obviously hated going to the vet.
Mhm.
Um, and it was an ordeal
Oh yes.
Sure.
getting him into his cat carrier so we could take him. The vet's assistant had to wear thick leather gloves while doing anything with him.
Uh-huh.
I remember once like the vet going over all the shots that he's supposed to get, like as because like, well, now
Right.
that he is older, he's supposed to get all these different shots. And my mom was like, does the schedule for these shots line up with the schedule for the rabies shot? And the vet was like, no. And she goes, then I'm sorry. Like, he's not getting them. Like, it is too
Yeah.
much. We asked the vet, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how feral is our pet cat?
I'm good. Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. That has nothing to do with them. How feral your cat is. One of my mom's Persian cats is exactly the same way.
Yeah.
She just you put her in the carrier, you take her out of the carrier at the vet. She's a completely different
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well,
transforms.
this is before even getting him in the carrier. I almost got blinded in one eye trying to get him out from under a couch to go to the
Yikes.
vet.
No, I was just talking
The
about the
doctor
vet's
told,
assessment.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, so the vet said, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, one being the most docile, friendly, lovely pet possible, 10 being a human being cannot get near this animal. It was like, I'd say your cat is a 7.
Impressive.
Um, yeah. So he was
Man, what would
basically a
have
wild animal that
Kel?
occasionally came in the house. Yeah.
With that knowledge, what would you rate that my mom's old cat that hated?
Well, how often did he attack you?
Anytime I was within about a foot.
Aw.
Spike, you saw the
Uh,
video.
Yeah.
so you came within a foot of him, but could your mom get close to him?
Yes,
Could your brother?
sometimes.
Then
Hmm.
maybe like a 6.
Gotcha.
Because my cat, like, me and my dad were the only ones that could get close to him. Because we were
Mm.
the ones that fed him.
So he trusted you, yeah.
Yeah, but that cat would like scream at me and chase me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awful.
Uh,
That cat hated
so
me so
Yeah.
much. I mean, to be fair, she also hated
Everyone.
lots of people, but I
Yeah.
was the only one who lived there that she. That was the rub. That was
Did that
like
kinda hurt your feelings? Because that would always kinda hurt my feelings unless they had, like, a good
it,
reason.
it depends. Like, okay, my mom also has three. Now my mom has 3 Persian cats. One of them
Uh-huh.
does not like me, but I'm kind of charmed by that because it's because the way she doesn't like me is very like I enter a room, she quietly gets up and leaves every single time.
That is kind of
I
funny.
put my hand out to pet her, she gets up and leaves the room. I pick
Oh.
her up, and this is a cat that makes no noise. I pick her up, and she goes, "Oh," and just howls like her heart is breaking. There's something weirdly charming about how much this cat doesn't
Oh, I
like
get
me.
it. That I get. That I kinda get,
Now,
yeah.
the old cat that didn't like me, that cat scared me shitless.
Oh.
Like, again, you saw the video. I had to like
Yeah.
poke her with a stick to get her into another room so I could use the bathroom.
Oh
Because she would
god, that's so funny.
chase at me and scream at me, and it was pretty rough. And I was very hurt by that because like the intensity of the hate.
Yes, I can
Why?
understand. Because you hadn't done
So
anything.
yeah. So my cat that I had as a child was very smart and very good at murder. He would cripple chipmunks and leave them on our back porch and then go hide under the porch furniture
Mhm.
um, until a crow or a bird of some kind came to finish off the chipmunk. So the chipmunk was just bait for something bigger. Um, and since it's a bird, he realized the bird couldn't see him under the porch furniture. So we did find some rather large birds that he had taken out,
Yeah,
like
which is why
crows and
you should
stuff.
keep your cats indoors.
Yes. Most of them can't get birds that big, but
Yeah. Yeah, I that is reminiscent of a video I bet a lot of people listening to this right now have probably seen, which is an orca at SeaWorld, which had learned
mhm.
that when it takes the fish that humans give it, it can take the fish and it can not eat it, it can carry it across the pen to an edge and spit it out there and then like pull away a tiny bit. And a seagull will try to swoop in and come and get it, and it'll just grab the seagull and murder it. And I'm not convinced a seagull tastes better than a fish. I just think it's mostly about fulfilling that need to hunt and kill.
Yeah.
I mean, the seagull
Um,
might have different.
Seagull, it has that gamey taste so many people love.
it's also it might be bigger than the fish.
Yeah, yeah, full of bones and skin and feathers. You know, it crunches in
um,
a way a fish never could.
I forget who it was, but there was some like food cooking show guy who went around and ate garbage animals.
Like raccoons
Oh, I
and
need to
stuff.
pause this.
Um,
Oh.
he like he remembered talking about that seagulls taste awful because
I'll
they eat
bet.
garbage. Yeah, like because they eat garbage, so they taste like garbage. Like it was that was sort of his experiment. Like he was going around and eating animals
Yeah.
that eat garbage.
I found the video
Um,
of the cat.
Oh, yeah, and I remember watching like a special about, it was one of those compilations on trash TV about, oh, look at these weird people. And one of the weird people they were talking about was a guy who made a habit of, known in his community for making a habit of picking up roadkill and taking it home and cooking it and eating it. And
and I feel like if that's deer or something,
yeah, I think there are people who just fucking do that, and I don't find that very weird at all. The only place it got weird for me is when he was picking up clearly, like, in the process of decay corpses and talking
yeah,
about, "If you just cut off the green part, they're good." I'm like, "No." Like, no, I
no,
draw the line. I don't think
that's
there's anything
yeah,
particularly weird about eating roadkill that's fresh, but when you are at the
yeah.
point where you are cutting off the green part, that is where we part
Yeah,
ways.
it's like if you hit a deer with your truck and your truck
Yeah,
is fine and can drive away and the
yeah,
deer is dead,
yeah.
then sure, take the deer home
Yeah,
and cut it
better
up.
than wasting it. Yeah.
Uh, I think the reason why they don't want you to do that is more you don't know what diseases those animals have or
Yeah.
whatever
That
when you
and,
hit them.
yeah, that and wildlife management in a lot of places, not every place where there's, like, a huge deer population, but in a lot of places, wildlife management is serious fucking business, and they take this "give them an inch and they'll take a mile" approach to deer harvest, which is they
Mhm.
don't want anyone taking home roadkill deer, they want you calling them to come and collect it, because if it became known, "Oh, you can take home roadkill deer," there would be a lot of air quotes, "oops" kind of
Ah,
thing where people fucking ran down deer on purpose out of season just because they knew they could get away with it. So,
Mhm.
makes
and
sense.
part of the reason deer are so numerous, especially where I grew up on the Eastern Seaboard right now, is because of very
You
meticulous wildlife management, because deer
but
season is a big
also
deal.
but also because we killed all the wolves, that
We
eat
killed
them.
all the wolves. There are still cougars and bobcats where I grew up, and they will definitely take out a deer or
Well,
2, but
also, coyotes got bigger to fill that
yeah,
niche.
and I'm sure you know this, that coy wolves are a thing now, like, and we might be
Yeah.
watching, like, kinda evolution in action where they become their own thing eventually, they're not just a cross, they become sort of this
Mhm.
true breeding thing. For folks who don't know,
Yeah.
in certain circumstances, coyotes and wolves can produce fertile offspring.
But so like, but koi will, uh, however you say that, like
Coy wolf,
they're
yeah,
more common in, um,
like Canada and stuff.
yeah, Canada because there's still more wolves there. So
Mhm.
like, because it's basically what it is the East Coast coyotes got big enough to mate with wolves.
Yeah.
So,
Instead of being a
you
cow.
so you don't get like an Arizona coyote and a wolf that is in like Wyoming or Montana making coy wolves.
Yeah,
Um, you only get them in like eastern Canada because it's the eastern coyotes that are bigger going up to
yeah,
Canada and mating with them.
yeah.
Anyway, wolf facts.
Wolf
Well,
I
fact.
I
know
remember that
that.
the problem, the main problem with the koi wolves are actually worse than coyotes and wolves because they're as big and dangerous as wolves, but they lack the inherent fear of humans that wolves have. Because
Yeah.
Well,
coyotes will,
that's why wolf dogs are really dangerous.
Oh,
yeah,
yes. Oh, yes.
And so the coy wolves are not as bad as wolf dogs because
yeah, but the
they
koi
still
wolves,
know to yeah, they still know to hide from humans, but they are more dangerous than coyotes.
yeah, because they just
So
stroll into our places like we don't give a shit. And also I'd argue, yes, a koi wolf and a wolf dog one on one in the same room, the wolf dog is probably more dangerous.
mhm.
But like, I think in terms of actual danger to your average person, a koi wolf is more dangerous because they are out there in the wild.
Well, it's more the dog wolf the wolf dog is dangerous for twofold because um It's as vicious as a wolf and it isn't afraid of humans. But then also, humans don't realize that they should be afraid of it because they recognize it as a dog rather than a wolf
Right,
a
but you're
lot of
not
the
going to
time.
see a lot of them, and most people are never going to encounter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that we've all seen that Ring doorbell footage of the dad unloading his SUV in the suburbs, and he put down his little toddler daughter, and she starts sort of, toddler walking across the driveway, and then a coyote just kind of comes out of nowhere and grabs her by the leg of her little snowsuit and literally begins dragging her away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
That is fucking wild to me because coyotes, they did not used to be that way, and there are a lot of like, where I grew up, on the Eastern Seaboard in Maryland, there were 0, literally 0 coyotes when I was a kid, and then, Kel, just like you said, they followed the highways down and over,
Yeah.
and
There
now
are coyotes in Central Park.
nobody where I grew up, nobody in the town I grew up in has an outdoor cat, or if they try to, they don't have it for fucking long.
um Portland's full of outdoor cats. It's awful.
Oh,
I mean, it's nice because I get to see them while I'm walking around, but it's
yeah,
like this kitty is in danger.
yeah. Last time I was in Portland, I met a cute little black kitten. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Speaking of little black kittens, I found the now 10-year-old YouTube video
Mhm.
of my mom's cat screaming at me.
Amanda's traumatized.
I can play y'all. You and Kel and Spike won't hear it, but I will try to bounce the volume and play it for everyone listening for a little. Let me like cut to a part.
Yes.
Oh God.
And then there's that one who I can only keep at bay with the stick.
Oh my
I
god.
need to turn the light on.
I love the Twitter cats being weird little guys.
I want to
Yeah.
turn that light.
That and I like jorts.
Beat it.
I like jorts a lot.
I also like
Eat it.
cats with jobs. That's a good Twitter.
I need to.
Yeah, like
Wanna
they keep making cats
turn-
captains of train stations in
That's all I
Japan.
want to
It's
do.
like,
I needed
okay.
the light on.
Oh, cats with jobs is just
Why don't
like
Why don't
it
you
looks
leave?
like it has a job. It's
Why
not
don't you
actually
leave?
like
Oh.
Okay, that's enough. I'm done
like,
playing it.
Okay.
I will send you a link, Spike. Like, here's one that's like my cat Uber driver.
Mhm.
Hold on.
I also follow, I think I follow a Twitter that's just bodega cats because, in New York,
Yeah,
um,
they hang out.
they hang out. There are lots
Yeah.
of bodegas with just cats, and there
Something's
they
got
are,
to eat the rats.
just sleeping on the Cheetos.
Yeah, so cats with jobs, this is my Uber driver. And I
Yeah.
love there's that documentary about uh Miyazaki, and it's him talking to his cat and he's like, "Look at you. You have no schedule."
How inefficient.
Yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, there have been times I've looked at my dog and I cannot help but meme because Lucy, my dog is older, so she sleeps a lot. And these days, she is just kind of sprawled out on one of 3, count them, 3 beds my cat has. And my dog has, excuse me.
I was
Whoa.
about to say, uh-oh.
Yeah. And I kind of just like look at her in her life where she has a bed in every room and just, sleeps constantly, and all I can think is, God, I wish that
Here, here's a cute one. The cat does have an actual job. They even made it a security badge that says pest control officer.
yeah.
Like that's what
That's their
bodega
job.
cats are. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks who don't
sorry they're not
realize, yeah.
fancy enough to have a
Yeah.
little badge.
Yeah, so, for folks who don't
Well,
know, the bodega cats, they're not just decor. They kill things. That's what they're there for.
yep.
New York is an old city, and old cities have lots of vermin, and bodega cats make sure that vermin doesn't become too big a problem. That's their
Oh, I
deal.
found one where the dead cat is covered in cobwebs and he's marked as a cleaner.
No,
Uh, he's cleaning out the cobwebs.
naturally. But yeah.
Um, anyway, I should
Mhm.
stop looking at cats on Twitter.
Yes, you should.
Um,
I'm asleep.
What time is it?
eh.
Only like
Oh,
but again,
wow.
I was up late at the office. I
Uh-huh, with
left at like
Matt.
11.
Yeah.
Um, and that is not when I went to bed because I still had stuff to do when I got home. To bed late, and then I had to
Uh-huh.
get up early to move my car, so I didn't get it towed, and I could
Mhm.
not get back to sleep after that. So I cleaned my apartment and I did rat introductions on my bed, where I basically had the babies and the big boys out together so I could observe them.
Mhm.
And then I did more cleaning, and then I ran errands, and then I realized if I took a nap before the show, I would do the thing where I woke up groggy and shitty. So I
Mhm.
instead played my dinosaur game, and it was very stressful
Aw.
because I mentioned before how the game I play, it's like a dinosaur survival game. Um, and I play in a homebrew server where there's a bunch of homebrew rules and profiles and whatever. So they basically released a new profile rework for one of the apex predators, the Giganotosaurus. So that's
Mhm.
what everyone decided to play today,
Oh, lots
which
of
means
predators
every
everywhere.
goddamn place I turned was something trying to eat me. Something very,
Oh.
very big. I would like reach one spot and go, oh, good, I can rest. Ah, no, teeth. I gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Then, like, 10 minutes later, I run across the map and I'm like, oh, fine, cool. I can, like, look for a lady Gallimimus and maybe try to, nope, I gotta go, gotta go. And they all wanted to eat me specifically. They were saying in the chat, like, combat Gallimimus, I want your flesh. And I was like, no. It was upsetting. You're
It
supposed to
sounds
relax.
upsetting.
But
I'm
no, I was a little
sorry.
Gallimimus running everywhere screaming.
Amanda,
What?
may I recommend?
No.
Yes. May I
I
recommend
wanted to be a dinosaur. I don't want a
Sailwind?
boat. I want a dinosaur.
Sailwind. Amanda, you say to yourself, "Oh, this port wants rum." And then you just put the barrels in your
No, I
boat.
want to sit on a rock and scream.
And you put the barrels in your boat and then you sail beneath the most
But
beautiful starry
you
sky.
can't sit on a rock and scream in that book in that game.
You can absolutely sit on a rock and scream in this game. It's just you won't get much done.
I don't get much done screaming on the rock here. Aside from making the thing that's trying to eat me feel guilty, which does work sometimes.
So what? You're just like on mic going,
No,
no.
no, no. You have 4 different voice calls, and
Oh,
you have the 4 call is your like defeat call, like your sad call, and
uh-huh.
for the Gallimimus in this game, it sounds like a broken confetti machine. So if you
Oh,
do that enough times, usually whatever hunting you is like, I can't eat you.
you're too pathetic.
This is the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. I have to leave. And that is usually my strategy. I sit on a rock where they can't get to me, and as they circle me, I just cry at them.
Oh my
Usually
god.
it works. It did not work today.
Oh no. So you got eaten a bunch, I'm
No, I didn't
assuming.
get eaten at all. That's the
Oh,
thing.
okay.
I was very good at being a Gallimimus that did not get eaten. It just took all of my concentration. I was like, fuck this. I don't want to be a dinosaur anymore.
And as a result, it wasn't relaxing at all.
No, I
Yeah.
I was successful.
Uh-huh.
I was very good at what I did, but it was stressful.
Well, yeah, I understand
I
it. I've been
sat on a rock and I
feeling
screamed for different reasons.
yeah, I've been feeling stressed lately too. For anyone who is dimly aware, I tweet about it from time to time. The Iron Circus account tweets about it from time to time. We are in the midst of several things in the Iron Circus Slack. One of them is figuring out award season. The vast majority of awards do not have their sort of entrance stuff up yet, but it's pretty important to kind of know your right hand from your left before all of that gets kind of spun up so you know what to do. Also, the Lackadaisy animated film, which was originally proposed on Kickstarter for like 15 minutes and over the course of creation swelled to, I shit you not, a full on 27 minutes. That is dropping soonish, and we need to kind of like figure out the details on that because our big terror is it's going to drop and then it's going to sink. And if you ever want to be depressed, if anyone's in the mood to be depressed, all you got to do is go hit up Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, I'm sorry. Well, Kickstarter depresses me, but for other reasons. All you gotta go do is hit up YouTube and look for all the incredible independent animation that just sank like a rock because it released, it had like a week, and that's all they wrote for it. Like just no one cared. And it has like 5,000 views and it's 3 years of someone's life. And that's kind of like the last thing we want to happen to Lackadaisy. So we're trying to figure out, oh God, who do we show this to? Who do we make sure sees this? How do we make sure as many people see this as possible? Because we want people to see it because we worked so fucking hard on it. But yeah, so we're working on that. And also, crowd funds are kind of always, always, always in the mix. And we're always, always planning them. We're always refining them. And we've been forced to use a new platform. So that has its own quirks. So we're trying to figure that out. Oh, so there's that. And then obviously there's always books to print and things to plan. We're getting back in the spin of convention season. And I had 3 meetings today and I kind of want to die. So it's just one of those deals where it's nice to pretend to own a little sailboat and deliver tea.
Oh no, I get it. No, I get Spike. We have the same motivations. We just have different desires for how we want to feel in that moment. You want to have and to see your wares go off to other ports. I want to sit on a rock and scream.
And there is nothing wrong with that. That's beautiful.
It is cathartic.
Yes, it's beautiful. I would never question your desire to scream on a boat. Or I mean rather on a rock. I'm the one on a boat. You're the one on a rock.
I would like to be a dinosaur on a boat.
A dinosaur on a boat sounds like a Dinotopia game.
No, just dinosaur. No. I want to be a dinosaur on a boat. I don't want to be like.
You don't want to. I don't want to be part.
I don't want to be part of the infrastructure. I just want to be on a boat.
Fair enough. I mean, if you won't, carry your own
I want to be very
dinosaur.
clear. I don't belong.
So you just want to be like just perched on the deck and have people like, oop, let me squeeze past you while they run the boat.
No. They are going to be very upset that I'm.
Oh, okay. That's
they don't have a choice. They have to take me with them.
You imposing is an important part of it. Yes. Got it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I really
enjoy... I change it up sometimes. Sometimes I'm a dinosaur that's a puddle and.
Oh God, naturally, you got to keep it fresh. What are you playing these days, Kel?
On Mondays, I play Don't Starve Together with Bones and Kevin.
Oh, that sounds fun.
We're on day like 200 of our world. Woo. There are so many wolves when they show up.
Oh God.
I'll bet. I'll fucking bet, honestly.
Dude, no matter how, when I was playing with y'all, no matter how many times that happened, it still gave me a panic attack. I can't imagine.
So what we have figured out is we built our camp on so Spike, since last time you played, they added in boating stuff.
Okay.
So like sometimes the little biomes have like water that separates them, so you have to like go around. But because of the boating stuff, sometimes you can, if it's a narrow enough like way, you can just plop the boat in the water and it acts as a bridge. But a lot of the monsters can't go on the boat. So like we're in our camp and in our biome, and then the towns come, and then the boat is like a bridge to where the beefaloes are. So we just like jump over the bridge and then prepare for dogs in the safety of the beefs.
Okay.
Oh, I have been playing RimWorld off stream.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
What do you mean thoughts?
What do you think of RimWorld?
You already know what I think of it.
Amanda is enjoying it.
We've discussed this on the last episode.
Have you downloaded any of the mods that have been suggested to you?
Yes. We talked about this!
Oh, okay.
Spike doesn't remember me.
I don't remember. Shut up.
Remember me.
Here's my genuine cry.
Definitely not you dabbing a hanky at each corner of your eye.
But no, I am enjoying it. But mostly I'm trying to... I want the next time I play to have purpose, like a goal or something. So I'm basically, that's why I stopped streaming it. I'm just kind of playing it like when I'm waiting on other stuff or busy or like need
Uh-huh.
busy work. And
Sure.
I'm not very committed to my current colony. I'm just kind of seeing like, how does things progress? What can I expect? Because the next time I play, I want a goal. This is more like
Right.
learning and just seeing what happens. And
That's why, like, so when I do my run with the Pawn Morpher and the furries and whatnot, I'm trying to make a zoo that has one of every animal.
Hmm.
yeah, I
Whenever I'm
think
playing,
I want a different scenario next.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not ever super interested in fulfilling RimWorld the proper way, which is, oh, you escaped the planet. Congratulations, you entered.
Boo.
Yeah, it's like I don't care. My whole like the perfect ending for me, I think I've kind of already played my perfect ending in RimWorld, which is just I'm a god. Everyone around me is a god. We're all half robot. We're all immortal. We literally have like
I
two
kind of
dicks
want
and 2 vaginas each. Sweet.
I kind of want to do a play run where everyone is a different type of god. So like one person's a robot, one person has the best like furry
Mhm.
mutations,
Mhm.
one has used like biotech genes to become the perfect person. Like so like each person is assigned what they will be
Mhm.
upgrading with. Um I think that would
Yeah.
be fun.
Spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of oh?
I don't know. Keep talking. Keep
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of runs that I think to myself, yeah, that sounds like fun. Like, because that's the fun of playing a game like RimWorld that has such like a massive modding community. You can find a million different ways to play it that it never occurred to you. Like I'm seeing a lot of people do this thing where they just like run a massive clone farm and they just clone one person over and over and over. And it's like that seems fun. I kind of like the idea of just one colony that's just one person, really. Like,
Um I was playing the game that I started on Christmas,
mhm,
the Cherryton Academy. Uh, Pawn Morpher does not like to mutate children, so I have to wait
mhm.
for the kids to grow up before turning them into a furry.
Uh-huh.
They have to graduate
Fuck
into being
you
a
and your
furry.
furry agenda.
Yeah. Otherwise it breaks the game.
You know what
Because
I'm
they
finding
can't.
I'm sorry, I was just
Mhm,
gonna say, you know what I'm finding, like, really fucking hard, though?
yeah.
Just I just I can't deal with, like, the super robots. I don't know, maybe I just suck at the game, maybe I'm just bad. But, the new expansion with biotech, like, has all these different robots, and they if I ever just like, "You know what? Let's do a vanilla game. Let's do nothing crazy going on, just absolutely the game as meant to be played. Let's do it, whatever." If I do that, I just get my ass absolutely fucking beat. Like, it
Well, some of the robots are from biotech and some of them are from vanilla expanded mechanoids.
Mhm. Yeah.
The vanilla expanded mechanoids I think are a pain in the ass. Like
They
once they get
are.
upgraded,
Mhm.
Oh, I did
uh
think I was super clever, and I was not.
Oh?
So I had one of those like ancient ruin thingies,
Uh-oh.
and I
Okay.
thought, well, there's probably something bad behind this. So what I'll do is
Mhm.
I'll make a maze of like kill boxes, and I'll have
Uh-huh.
someone run in, break the wall down, and run out. And it worked. All those evil robot thingies came out and got killed by my traps. I'm like, oh ho ho, I'm so smart. So I sent my people in to open one of the cryo thingies,
Right.
mhm.
and people jumped out with guns. Lots of people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they're
Many
probably
people.
like, "Hi." Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was very bad. It was extremely bad, and I was panicking because I was like, "Oh, I didn't know about this part. I just knew about the robots."
Yeah. What I do in those situations is I just straight up, after I kill the things that are alive in there, just it's time to shoot one of the cryptosleep caskets. And that way it alerts them all without anyone having to like actually go over and manually open them. So
For the
it's,
future,
it,
I will keep that in mind.
yeah, it's just the safest thing to do.
I was just very shocked. I was like,
Uh,
oh god."
they aren't always full of robots. Sometimes they're full of killer insects.
Yes. There's just always a surprise. Always a surprise.
Always. I'm learning.
Yes. But yeah.
Oh,
I hate infestations. I always turn infestations off because
Yeah.
I
I
had
hate
my
them.
first one.
Oh, aren't they the fucking worst?
It was kind of uneventful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just there, and we had attacked them.
Oh.
It's just because it's once you get like a big enough colony, because the threat level grows with how wealthy your colony is.
Yeah,
So
that's
if
true.
really
That's true.
late game, an infestation will be like 30 bugs at once.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of been my experience, that when they come, they just absolutely wreck my ass.
Yeah, so I turn infestations and large infestations off.
Uh-huh.
Um but since I have the in vanilla expanded insectoids, they'll just attack like a regular raid. So and that is
Yeah.
easier to deal with because they are not in my house.
Hello, little
No
man.
no bugs in my house.
Yeah. You know the whole trick
Um
about how you can stop them from coming in if you keep everything below freezing Fahrenheit, right?
yes.
Yeah. But it's a pain in the ass to keep an entire base below freezing at all times. Yeah.
You're so
Also it
handsome.
makes your people cold.
Yeah, it makes
And
them
what if
very
you want to
fucking
play as and what if you want to play as lizard people? They'll die if it's too cold.
Yeah, yeah,
I have a
exactly.
baby. Hello,
Oh, which baby do you have?
Poblano.
Oh, that's nice. Amanda got new rats, folks.
Like what? Like how long ago? Like,
Not super long
oh
ago.
my gosh,
but-
when was it? They've doubled in size.
because they're rats, and that's what rats do. Yeah.
Oh,
And they're all named after peppers in accordance
based
with
on
their
their
own personal.
spiciness.
Yes. with their
This is
spice,
Poblano. He's a little spicy.
but not very.
Bell Pepper is the least spicy. He's my cowardly boy. And
Uh-huh.
then Ghost Pepper is the mostly white one. Never quits.
Is that the abuser?
Abuser?
Yes, I've seen your videos on Twitter where there's like this one rat bullying all the other rats.
He mostly bullies. And he also
Yes.
never takes naps. I have to make him.
So that's why he's Ghost Pepper.
Time?
Mhm.
I'm distant because I was putting him back in his cage, making eye.
You're good.
Um, Eventually, they will tire themselves out. Bell Pepper will be the first one. Every single time, Bell Pepper is the first to crawl back into the cage to sleep. Then eventually, Poblano Pepper will also go to take a nap because he has enough out time. I've never seen Ghost Pepper crawl back in the cage. I always have to say, all right, you're going back in. He is always ready to go, always ready to wrestle, always ready to play.
That's nice.
No.
How many rats have you got now? Like 5?
No, I have
A billion.
4, 5, 6, 7 right now.
Good Lord.
I was originally just gonna get 2 babies, but I found out that these are the last 3 boys, so the
And you
last
can't
boy,
leave one alone.
the last boy would have been by himself.
Yeah.
Because the dad is with his next lady.
Because you got it from a rattery.
Yes, I got it from a rattery.
Yeah.
And 2 of my rats in my big cage. Not to say that I expected them to pass. I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I genuinely expected them to pass already because they're quite old now. Especially one of them. He's just still here, and I was like, oh, I'm very pleased. But it just means temporarily my numbers are kind of higher than I would prefer.
Well, you just take
So,
very good care of them. So
I
they
guess
last more.
so.
Yeah, so there you
I
go.
guess so.
You're good at rat husbandry.
I suppose. Like one of them, like, oh, he's so little and frail, and every time I look at him, I'm like, I'm so worried if I breathe on you wrong.
Oh.
He's a little frail guy, but he's fine. He doesn't. His back legs don't pumpkin. His poor little back legs don't work anymore. And I watched him haul his ass up a ladder.
Wow.
And I'm like, why are you doing this? I intentionally put food and water on every level so that no matter where you are, you don't have to travel very far, buddy. No, he still
But
climbs all the ladders.
Well, good for him.
No, I'm worried he's gonna fall because he's just got his little front legs.
Yeah, Lucinda's at that point now where her back legs are just weak in general. Like even before we put her on medication that made her back legs like temporarily paralyzed, She was waking up in the morning and dragging a back leg for a little bit before she, pulled herself together, I guess you could say. And nowadays sometimes she just falls over and straight up needs help.
Poor
And
baby.
through our own actions, I think we've accidentally trained her to just give up and wait for us. And I don't, I regret that. I regret that. But at the same time, what are you gonna fucking do? So she is now
We've rewarded
kind
her
of
for giving
yeah.
up.
So like there'll be times where she will walk herself into an area and she can't back out because she just doesn't have that flexibility anymore. And she will just flop over onto her side and lie down and just lie there. And I know she doesn't want to be there. She's literally waiting for me to come over, grab her on her, on her sides and belly, lift her up and walk her backwards. And then she'll just go about her way. But she's perfectly content with lying there for like 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes me to notice to come get her. Like she doesn't try to get up anymore. And if that's not diva shit enough for you, there's been a brand new goddamn development where after her long illness, she dropped a bunch of weight. Like my dog's a 50-pound dog, 50-ish. And she got down to 39, which is a lot of weight loss for a dog, a 50-pound.
Especially for a dog who used to be.
Yeah, she was very much a baked potato, and now I can see like little hollows behind her shoulder blades, and I'm not a fucking fan. And so Matt and I have been trying to figure out, how to put a little meat on her. And one of the things that is very clear is her appetite. There's nothing wrong with it because when we are eating, she's right there. And if I try to give her a cube of Spam or a slice of steak or let her lick a bowl, she's down. She's 10,000% down.
She's like,
So
give it to me.
exactly.
Give it to me now.
She's 10,000% down. So it's not something's wrong with her digestion thing. But when we give her her kibble, she's just like, yeah. And she she like turns and walks away. And we're like, dog, like, you got to eat your fucking food. We need to figure out a way to. And we've been experimenting. Like when she was really, really sick, the vet gave her some prescription food and it was wet. Like, okay, so maybe now she's developed a taste for wet food. But when we get her wet food and she won't eat it. I'm like, what's going on? And we have figured out Lucy will now take her meals. I wish this was a joke. You can fucking straight up ask Matt. She will take her meals if they are mushed up with a fork and or if there is a drizzle of A1 or bulldog sauce over it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so this is the fucking dog we're dealing with right now. The dog requires
you did this.
I had to feed my dog. She's too skinny. And I want her to eat with gusto. And she wasn't eating with gusto. We pour these big bowls of kibble for her that she was totally okay with a couple months ago. And she's like, nah. I'm like, well, fuck, we got to figure out how to get her to eat.
I mean,
we can't like buy steak for her. It's not that kind of fucking house yet. So
but I think her weight loss was just because of discomfort, and now she's gonna bounce back and
be used to, like, can you imagine the fucking life we're headed for where we walk the dog and we bring it in and
at least you don't have to give her kangaroo meat.
Yeah, I know, right? Like that one dog on This American Life.
Yeah.
But I just picture this future where we pour this bowl of kibble for our dog and she just fucking looks at us like we're morons. I'm like, oh shit, we forgot the bulldog sauce. We forgot the A1. Sorry, Lucy. Sorry, here's your bulldog sauce.
Yeah, like bulldog sauce is so much easier to put on her food than going to a specialty butcher to get her kangaroo meat.
Yeah.
The cat I had previously for 17 years, I wanted to feed her healthy food. I wanted to feed her. I tried to get her on good dry food. I tried to get her on good wet food. She wouldn't have any of it. I tried to get her on raw meat. I tried to get her on every fucking thing. She only ate the absolute shittiest, cheapest cat food.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like documentaries about cat food production? And there's like this special chemical they put in it that's like kitty crack. They like fucking love it.
But she won't even eat here's the thing. You'd think they put that in the expensive, like she would not eat the expensive version of the same brand.
Yeah, the stuff that advertise itself as like no additives, all natural. It's literally like if you're feeding humans and you're feeding like a really obstinate human and they want McDonald's and you're like, but look, I made you this beautiful, broiled chicken breasts with with a lovely compound
But
butter, and they're gonna be like,
I want them nugs.
yeah, I want
No,
fucking
no, it's
nuggies. I
not
don't
like
want this
that
shit.
because
I want
even
nuggies.
no, it is not like that because after eating a lot of nugs, I will take that. I would like the change of pace.
Well, you're more flexible than a cat.
My cat and my brother are kindred spirits.
Just what they want nugs. They just want nuggies.
They only want chicken nuggets. They cannot be shaped like dinosaurs.
They have to be McDonald's nuggies.
I frequently rewatch Folding Ideas' video about that guy that hates chicken nuggets.
Jamie Oliver?
Yeah, that is snobbery. That's fucking snobbery.
It's snobbery and classism, but I just love Folding Ideas' video about it. Like, I have rewatched that multiple times. Like,
yeah, and I just want to say really quick too, it's like I also had to get over some snobbery. Like I'm a person who considers food like a hobby. And I had to get over like a certain level of snobbery when I was first really kind of getting into sort of the mechanics and the chemistry of cooking. And it happened to coincide with, I think, a lot of food people, I guess you could call them, getting over food snobbery, because that's when things started happening in fine dining establishments that were including things like American cheese for the first time. And no, it wasn't long before that. People were like, no, we don't eat that fucking trash here. And no, it's like American cheese in a lot of ways is like a marvel of engineering.
yeah.
It's like a lot of modern food. Like the bread on the shelf, no, it's not like, bread at the pâtissier in France.
But it's bread you can eat the day after you open it.
Exactly. It has these chemical softeners and leaveners in it, and it's fed millions of people, and it's kept the civilization ticking
your
over.
average person cannot buy a new loaf of bread every single day.
And Spam is like, actually,
disgusting.
No, Spam is fucking delicious. It has a shorter ingredients list than most of the shit I bet most people out there eat. And it is also a marvel of modern packaging.
I agree with that part. But at the same time,
and with the advent of people fucking refusing to put nitrites in ham and bacon, it is kind of the last bastion of really delicious cured all-American meats. It's delicious. I love Spam and I love American cheese. And
okay, I like American cheese.
And they're great for like the applications they were devised for. And there's no reason to be like, I don't eat that meat. And that's just fucking snobbery. And
here's snobbery I will accept.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like, Hershey bars are garbage.
Oh, they taste bad. They just taste bad. I'm sorry.
They're bad. They're bad chocolate. They are bad chocolate. That's just facts.
Yes, absolutely. We are in total agreement. It's just not good chocolate. It's amazing to me. I've gone to the UK a bunch of times, and one of the things what I do while I'm there is I go to a lot of the sort of, convenience stores, and we buy like Cadbury stuff and all the shit that's just at the counter by the register, the impulse buy shit, and it's leagues better than Hershey.
I'm not really a chocolate fan, so it kind of all blends together for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think I could tell the difference between a Hershey's bar.
I used to think I wasn't crazy about chocolate until I tasted non-American chocolate.
I have had that too.
Yeah.
It's basically the Hershey bar has more like filler in it that isn't chocolate. So
honestly, the more chocolatey something is, the less I like it.
I mean, that's fair enough. Some people just don't have a taste for it.
Yeah, so it's just like if you like chocolate, Hershey is not the way to go. But I guess if you don't like chocolate, then Hershey would be preferred since it is
I don't
less
prefer
chocolate.
it either. It all blends together.
Yeah, I get it.
Reminds me how I don't like beer, and like friends have taken me on like beer tasting things. I'm like, all this tastes the same. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one has hints of mocha and fig, and this one has hints of caramel and apple, and I'm like, they taste exactly the same. I do not know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm also not a beer person. I can taste the difference though. I just don't like any of them.
I don't like any of them, and I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I get it. I also don't drink beer.
I can't tell the difference between like different brands of beer, but I know the difference between like a hoppy beer and a darker one. But that's the beginning and end of where my difference is. And
I think my problem is like all I detect is bleh.
The distinct aroma and flavor notes of bleh.
Just tastes like stagnant water.
It's bread pea.
Like,
Bread pea. You don't like bread pea?
I don't like bread pea.
Yeah.
That is a good description of beer, bread pea.
Yeah. But
I like
So to
I
be
like
fair,
Kahlua and I like Bailey's and I like vodka all mushed together in a pure alcoholic version of a White Russian.
so to be fair, I think my my experiences with beer got off to a bad start when I was little. I
Yeah.
think the waters got muddied very early on, because when I was little, I reached for what I thought was my soda.
Ah.
But then I took a drink of it and I about hurled, and I looked at it and I realized my grandpa's beer.
Uh-huh.
Then and I was like, wow, beer's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yuck, how can anyone drink this? Then as when I was a little bit older, my mom was like, oh, that wasn't beer. Your
Uh-huh.
grandpa ashes his cigarettes in his beer cans.
Oh no.
And so I grew up thinking that like
Ew.
beer just tasted like cigarette ash.
Oh, gross.
And I was like,
Yeah.
why are people drinking this? I'm so confused. And then I was like, no, Amanda, here, try. And the father was like, no, try this one. And I was like, oh, this is awful, but like in a completely different way. This is you know
It
what?
is not cigarette butts.
You know what? If I was on a desert island, it's like you need to drink something, I would drink beer. But
Yeah.
it was like I just like, oh, it doesn't taste like cigarette ash.
If you're in a situation where someone is like, the water is not safe to drink, you're for some reason in medieval England, and they're like, so here's beer instead.
God.
Yeah.
I had to like I mistrusted so many cans because like I also drank one of my uncle's dip can once.
Oh my god.
He left his Coke can next to my Coke can.
Oh, that's fucking vile.
Awful. Awful. I mean, that's one way to make sure your kid like never smokes and never does like dip. It's just like get him to drink it thinking it's a delicious soda.
Oh,
Ruin
God.
their day.
Fucking gross. Oh, the idea of drinking a dip can is like, oh, my gorge is actually rising.
It was awful.
Oh, it sounds fucking awful. It sounds like literal torture. God. Ugh. For folks who don't know,
Oh, I guess some people don't know what dip is.
yeah, a dip can is if you are a person who chews tobacco, your mouth fills up with tobacco juice and you spit it out.
Gotta spit it somewhere.
You gotta spit it
If
somewhere.
you've seen baseball players chewing and then spitting in old
Yeah.
videos, that's usually it.
And you know that combination of saliva and tobacco juice? That's what Amanda drank.
Well, to be fair, it also usually had flavorants added too.
Oh, like that makes it better.
No, that made it worse. Look, okay, I've said this before. There is nothing to me worse than a flavor trying to cover up a bad taste or smell.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather walk into a room that smells like someone farted than walk into a room that smells like someone farted and then tried to cover it up with a spray. Because you aren't going to cover it up, so you are just overwhelming my senses. It's gross.
Right. Right.
I'd rather smell the fart.
Right, sure. I mean, I'm with you there. I'm not a big fan of potpourri. I'm not a big fan of air fresheners. I get
Oh,
it.
I like air fresheners. I have a wax melter that I like a lot. It makes my room smell like an old leather chair. I like that. I just don't like covering up obnoxious smell with another smell.
Obnoxious smells.
Then you get two smells, and I don't want.
Then you get poo flower.
Yeah.
And
I
everyone
mean, that's
knows.
why I don't like orange. Because I associate it with cleaning day, because every time someone would make a stink or a smell, my mom had this little can of like concentrated orange spray, and she would just spritz the air. So I just, associated an orange smell with dirty things and cleaning day, and now when I smell a freshly cut orange, I'm like, bleh,
The perpetual bleh.
bleh.
One of the mangas I'm editing for Seven Seas is an isekai. Well, it is cleaning instructions disguised as
Oh
an
yeah, we talked about
isekai.
that one.
Yeah, and there is a whole chapter about her getting excited about oranges and orange peels, but there are like cat people, and they're like, "This is an attack on us as a people, and how dare you?"
Hmm.
Because cats do not like citrusy smells.
Today I learned.
Hurts their little noses.
If you want a cat to stop scratching up a sofa, you like put lemon stuff on it.
Or double-sided tape.
Because
Yeah,
they
or
don't like how
double-sided
that
tape.
feels. Yeah.
They do not like it.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just funny. The cat people be like, "This is an affront to us. You're assaulting our people. How
Hmm.
dare you?
Yeah.
Ready to declare war over orange scent."
Hmm.
There's a lot.
I think that goes for all of us. Yeah.
Like I don't like things in my macaroni. Don't put things in my macaroni.
But otherwise, it's
I
just like there's no flavor notes.
No, I don't like things in my macaroni.
I need something to break up the
I
monotony.
I don't like
I
new textures in my if you give me a soft thing, do not put a hard thing in it. Do not put a tough thing in it.
Mm.
Do
Have I
not put
told
anything
I
that squishes like a little eyeball.
I apparently am the opposite of Amanda when it comes to macaroni because as a kid and a teenager, when my parents made mac and cheese,
Mhm.
like easy mac and cheese, um I didn't really ever want to eat it when it was fresh. I wanted it to sit in the fridge and then I would microwave it a bit because um leftover mac and cheese, since the microwave is taking some of the moisture out, the fake cheese had more of a texture
I like
Mm.
leftover mac and
than
cheese.
but like I realized like that's what I wanted out of mac and cheese. So when I had not easy mac and cheese, and people had put like breadcrumbs or shit in it, I was like, oh, this is what I always wanted mac and cheese
No,
to be.
chat is
Like,
describing my nightmare. I don't like hot dogs and macaroni, and I don't like peas and macaroni.
I like all kinds of things.
Peas
in
are like
macaroni.
little eyeballs that burst. I don't
I
like it.
I like macaroni that would probably kill you because it has
you
lobster in it.
mean, oh,
Oh, I like lobster. Well, not
Lobster won't kill
macaroni.
still
you?
kill you.
No, that doesn't mean
Yeah.
I don't like it. Spike, let me tell you something. I was not always allergic to shellfish.
I know, and that fucking depresses me.
When I started working at Lobster, I ate it almost every day for like a year because I got 50% off.
Yeah, that genuinely makes me
meals.
sad and scared.
Last weekend went through all my bookkeeping to arrange like my bookkeeping for freelance stuff.
Mhm.
And you write down all the stuff that you bought at conventions and put it in the travel and meals expense. But like I'm looking at like when I was at San Diego Comic-Con, like I'm like, what the fuck did I buy that was so expensive for dinner every day? And then I thought about it. It's like, it's because I can't get good lobster rolls in Portland.
I'll
So I
bet
just
not,
got
yeah.
lobster rolls
I
over and
miss
over again
lobster
at San
rolls.
Diego.
I miss
Um,
crab.
You know, you could
so-
probably get allergy shots,
Why would I do that?
so you can eat lobster roll and crab again.
That sounds expensive.
I don't know how expensive it would be, but it's possible. I know that
it is
I've
not a good idea.
why not?
It is because like those so the allergy shots, as in to get rid of your allergy, that only works for like pollen and inhaled allergies.
Okay.
And then the thing that you take for food allergies is basically an EpiPen, but that
Mhm.
is like shooting yourself with a steroid
Yeah.
um after you have an allergy problem. So it is very bad for your heart and whatnot. And
Oh,
that's why you really are only supposed to use it in emergencies. Um,
okay.
like, I know this because Jay Eden is super allergic to peanuts. So like
Yeah,
the few
EpiPen
times that
delicious.
they yeah, the few times they have needed to use an EpiPen, they still had to go to the hospital after using the EpiPen.
Oh.
Like,
Also,
Yeah.
sometimes the problem with allergies is if you, for example, if you're allergic to something and you expose yourself a lot to it, option one, you desensitize yourself to it and you kind of, the allergy kind of lessens. Option two, you
Mhm.
sensitize yourself
they-
to it and the allergy gets worse and worse every single time.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
because I
something that
also know
frequently
someone.
happens to people who handle poisonous snakes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, venomous snakes. That
Yes,
messed up.
yes.
Because the thing that Amanda's talking about, where you get worse every time, I know someone who used to have a mild allergy to mangoes, and
Uh-huh.
now they have a severe allergy to
Yep.
mangoes.
Yeah.
Because they still liked the taste of mangoes, so it was like, well, some tummy trubs is fine,
Whatever,
Yep.
I'm
and then
itchy for a
it's
day.
like,
Yeah.
and then it's like, oh, now my face is puffing up. But not that bad. And
Yeah.
then every time it's worse and worse. It's like I need to stop.
Mine
Yeah.
did the thing where it like slowly progressed where I didn't realize what it was. I was like, I guess I have seasonal allergies. And then
Mhm.
like, I guess I have seasonal allergies and I itch a lot. It must be what I'm washing my clothes with. Then it's
And
Yeah.
I know
eventually,
about that. Oh, you finish your thing,
I was
Amanda.
just like,
Sorry.
eventually it got to the point where like my eyes swelled shut and I
I'm
had to
sure
be
it's
driven
fine.
home.
It's fine. I'm
And that
fine.
wasn't
It's
even from
fine.
eating them. I was just being in the restaurant the day we fired up the wood fire grills for the first time.
Oh.
And it was, I guess, like the shrimp particles mixed with smoke just made my eyes swell shut. And it's like, oh, you have to be driven home. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Um,
I like a lot of people in middle age, I am developing allergies. And I probably have a dust allergy now, but simply by the nature of surprise you're allergic, I'm terrified of what I might potentially become allergic to. And I'm really, really
uh,
scared of food allergies.
so you can get like a blood allergy test, and they'll give you how allergic you are on a scale of 1 to 5.
Mhm.
I got all this recently because I was looking into getting allergy shots. Um, so basically, they did blood work, and then they did a list of like, here's all the possible allergies that we test for.
Mhm.
They usually just test for local plant life, like, because if you're allergic to a plant that only grows in India, like, yeah, obviously it doesn't matter if you're allergic to it if you're not encountering it on a daily basis. So I'd had the test. The reason why I brought that up is because I had the test before,
Mhm.
and the one I got recently, because I live in Portland now, it tested for a type of tree that when I got it back in Boston, they didn't test for because that tree only grows in the Northwest. Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, so they give you the scale of 1 to 5, how allergic you are. If you have 3 or higher, you are severely allergic and should not be in the room with that thing. Um, I don't have any food allergies, but I am allergic to outside. I'm allergic to all grass. If
Oh,
people say go touch grass, that's an affront. You're attacking me as a person.
it's
Um,
offensive. It's offensive. It's
yeah,
simply offensive.
uh, yeah, I'll die. But yeah, I had a level 3 allergy to like every type of grass. And
Uh-huh.
then a level 3 allergy to every type of mold. So you might not be allergic to dust, you might be allergic to mold because mold is fucking everywhere. And like,
Yeah.
the doctor's like, well, shrug, you can't do anything about it. Just
Well,
your nose will run.
the other thing
Forever.
is all dust is not created equal, and dust is made up of like
Yeah.
lots of different things, and you can be allergic to dust in one location and not allergic to it in another.
Mhm.
Like it's just like
And based
what's your
on,
HVAC like?
Yeah.
yeah.
Things like that.
So yeah, so you might have a very mild allergy to dogs, but since it's so mild, but you are constantly have a dog in your house, that could be what it is.
Yeah, I really
Based
hope
on
that's not it.
but see, if you have a mild allergy, that's where they're like, it's like if you on this scale of 1 to 5, if you got a level 1 allergy to dogs, they would be like, it does. We're not telling you to get rid of your dog. You're fine.
Yeah.
Like, just
Oh yeah,
take
like
some
my
Yeah.
Benadryl
mom's
when it's
allergic to
bad.
cats. She just takes Allegra. Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like if you have a severe allergy that they would be like, don't be in the room with a dog or a cat.
Mhm, mhm.
And so uh talking to about them with the specific intent of trying to get those allergy shots to get rid of my allergies, um that's when they were like, all right, so here's how it works. It does not work on food allergies. They told me that up front, like, if you have food allergies and that's what you wanted this for, it will not work, we're sorry.
Yeah,
um
digesting is a completely different beast. Touching and breathing.
Yeah. Although I have to say, I've been having a pretty interesting experience lately because I mentioned on Twitter that I did some therapeutic fasting a while back, and it's actually something that people recommend when they talk about like elimination diets.
I
And I did
refuse
it.
to do any of that shit.
See, the fascinating thing though is when I did it, I have had eczema for years since my late 20s, and then it stopped. So, while part of the reason I'm so interested in going to an allergist this year is because it's clearly something I'm eating and I have no fucking idea what,
I
but it
mean,
is giving me eczema.
could have also been coincidental.
Now, I have done it enough, I'm pretty darn sure
Okay.
it's not. It's fucking like I'm not it's like not even subtle. It's like not even funny. Like I'm itchy, I'm itchy, I'm itchy, and then when I fast, I'm not. And I
so
You're allergic to
uh
food.
yeah, I know, right? That'd be
All
my
of
uh
fucking
it.
luck.
it's also, it could just be an intolerance rather than an allergy.
Yeah.
So intolerance is different in like,
Mhm.
so I'm not allergic to nightshade plants, but I do have an intolerance, which is why I get horrible,
Yeah,
like
Tum
the
tum.
your
worst
itches.
heartburn in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
like
itches.
and but if I accidentally eat it, I will not die. I'll
Yeah.
just be
Yeah, I
grumpy
think I'm
afterwards.
becoming lactose intolerant, but I refuse to let that stop me.
Yeah, that I mean, lactate is there for you if it becomes something you can't ignore anymore.
I refuse.
No, no quarter.
No. I stopped eating lobster. I will not stop drinking milk coming to my
I'd be
house.
so fucking sad if I couldn't eat shellfish anymore because where I live, near the place I live, there is a grocery store, and I don't know who's doing the ordering for the store, but they fuck up a lot. And as a result, like snow crab legs go on sale a lot down there.
Oh god,
I don't
I
know.
can't.
Oh,
It's almost good that I'm allergic to shellfish because also there's some level where I think I have like shellfish PTSD.
oh.
Cause it's not even like it's just because it's like I flash back to like being in conference rooms when I was doing manager training and having to learn all this shit about rock lobsters.
Yeah.
I know so much about lobsters and procuring them and how they're stored. Like I I just bad times. I hated
Yeah.
that job and I can't believe I was so ready to hitch my wagon to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I used
well,
to
I
wake
mean,
the lobsters up.
how do you do that? Do you just poke them with like a
No,
chopstick
no,
or
no.
something?
So
Oh,
I lived in Texas. That's where my Red
yeah.
Lobster I worked at was.
Uh-huh.
And that we had all our lobsters were pretty much imported. You didn't want lobsters from the Gulf. There weren't a
No.
lot of them, and they weren't good, especially if you wanted Maine lobster. Because guess what? Where you get those from?
Maine, yeah.
Maine. Uh, so they're shipped in. They're shipped in frozen and hibernating.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have to gradually wake them up. And that was my job a
Yeah.
lot of the time, to gradually wake up the lobsters.
So with like
Uh
warmer water or
Yeah, you kind of transition them to different water, and then you have to filter that water, and then you transition them to another thing of water, and you have to let that water filter, because they can like die from like
shock?
their own. Well, no, not just that, but also like when they start pooping, they
Mhm.
have a lot of shit built up, chemicals
Yeah.
that are built up inside them. And they can, like, shit their water so bad they, like, poison themselves and die. So you have to get them into, like, constantly change their water until they're finally at the right temperature and finally at the right water cleanliness that you can put them in the tank where someone can pick them out to eat them.
Mm.
Have I told you about the lobster shell hardness thing? And why New England lobsters are more delicious than lobster everywhere else?
No.
Okay, so lobsters shells go through different stages of thickness. And whatever stage they are at molting wise affects their meat. Like their whatever chemical is released while they molt, it makes
Mhm.
them more delicious when they have the thinnest shell. Um, but because their shells are so thin, they can't ship the delicious lobsters um
Ah.
of New England. Like you have to get them, sell them locally. Like they will not survive a trip. So if you get lobster anywhere in the US that's not New England,
Mhm.
you are probably getting medium shell lobsters. And then if you are getting lobster anywhere outside the US and Canada, you are probably getting hard shell lobsters. So a lobster from Maine that a guy picked up off the beach and just threw in boiling water will
Mhm.
taste more delicious than a
You
five-star
you
restaurant chef in
say that,
France.
but you can't account for taste because I
Mhm.
do not understand people who like rock lobster.
Ugh.
I
Yeah, I
don't,
don't.
and they
Uh,
exist. They
Yeah.
exist and they're crazy.
Yeah,
Rock lobster
I
is like eating shoe leather.
yeah,
but
I
anyway, like but like in Europe, if you're getting lobster,
it's
like
it's
it
crap.
has to be an expert chef making it taste good rather than them just tasting good on their own.
Yeah, same reason that I could theoretically get blue crab out here in Chicago because there are multiple if you go to the Asian groceries, they have extremely extensive seafood sections, and the seafoods
Mhm.
are half of them are still alive. So, I have seen live blue crab for sale in the H Mart near where I live, but I won't get it because 'cause I'm like, there's no way it could be as good as the shit I grew up with, where you would just go down to the pier and there would be dudes just selling you bushels full of crabs looking ready for a fucking fight, you know? And like crabs that got pulled out of the bay. I grew up in Maryland. Crabs that got pulled out of the bay like an hour ago. There's no way that even if they're alive, they're going to be nearly as good. So I won't even permit myself the possibility that they
And
would
I
be
don't
as
I
good.
don't know if
Almost as good isn't as good enough.
No,
No,
no.
so
I have different standards.
I don't know if crabs have that same molting thing, but it would make sense if they did.
Yeah.
That they're harder to ship. But I
Yeah.
do know that that's the case for lobsters. That's why in
Man,
New England you can get lobster rolls from McDonald's.
Yep.
do you want to know what I almost forgot about this. Have I told? Oh, I don't know if I've told the chat before, but I've definitely told y'all about one of the worst experiences after I realized I was allergic to shellfish. Is at Red Lobster, we would crack crabs and lobsters for guests if they requested it. And it was a
Uh-huh.
full table service thing where we would put up a little tray jack and a tray and we'd stand by their table and crack their lobster for them. And I would tell my guests, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. And they would be like, can you find someone else? And no one was available. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, no one's available. And they're like, you're available. I'm like, I just told you I can't. I'll get sick. And then I'd go to my managers and managers just go crack their lobsters. So I had to crack my guests'
That's
lobsters. And there
Uh,
was one day I cracked it and it got in my eye.
oh
uh,
no.
And then my eye puffed up and the guest was like, oh, you weren't lying. I'm like, why did you think I was lying?
Yeah, what, yeah, like
Why did you
this,
think I was lying? I'm lazy. I don't want to crack your lobster.
yeah, that's what they thought. That's exactly what they thought.
Blech.
It makes me think, like, every once in a while, you'll hear, like, an extra fucked up story about, "Yeah, so a family member or my daughter's boyfriend or whoever, yeah, they said they had a food allergy, but you know what? You can't trust these people, and I think it's all in
Yeah.
their head, so I cooked them some tomato sauce, and that thing they said they were allergic to, I put some in." And then they had some kind of episode right there at the dinner table, so I guess they were telling the truth. It's like, um, did you know you could kill a person that way? You can literally, like, I'm super not down with any of these, like, haha, I fucked with their food stories for,
Nah.
like, that particular reason. As I get older, I'm even just getting more sympathetic because, like I said, I could develop an allergy at any
And
fucking moment.
and even if they weren't actually allergic and
Yeah,
just don't like it,
yeah,
like they
yeah,
don't like it. Like what? That's
Leave them alone.
yeah.
yeah.
Although I have to
God.
admit, when Matt and I were first living together, Matt came to me the child of a cook, a home cook who was just, okay. So he never really got this idea. He actually would tell me, I don't see why people talk all this, crap about, oh, amazing home cooked meals, because no home cooked meal I ever had would qualify as like amazing. So I don't get it. And he, as soon as he was old enough, because he had a paper route, so he had his own money around like 12 or 13, he would start eating out of like the convenience store, out of the 7-Eleven. So he'd be eating little Debbie cakes and whatnot. And he came to me and he had this laundry list of things he said he didn't like. And
Well,
I just didn't fucking
yeah.
believe him.
So
I didn't believe him. So I would cook for myself and then I'd be like, "Would you like to taste it?" And he'd taste it and he'd be like, "Oh, that's good." I'd be like, "Oh, you like it?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's really good." I'm like, "Cool, there are like 3 onions in there. Remember how you told me you hate onions and can't
so
stand onions?"
so the thing is like I had to clarify with someone what I meant when I said I didn't like something
Mhm.
because there are foods that I'll eat, but when I say I don't like a food, I mean like I never am like I could really use blank.
Right.
Like I have a strong craving to eat chicken. It's like that has never happened to me. Like
Oh, I've definitely had a
uh
strong craving to eat chicken.
Never.
I realized that I don't like the texture of bird meat. That's it.
Hmm.
That's more what it is. It's a texture thing rather than a like
Sure,
and
sure,
this is most birds. Like
sure.
the closest I got to liking the texture of a bird is an ostrich burger, and even then I was like, I think
Mhm.
I'd rather have a deer or bison burger or like
Yeah,
any something that's not a bird.
yeah. I feel the same way. I like ostrich, I like chicken, I like squab, I like almost every bird I've ever had. I do not like turkey because it is like eating sawdust. It's just not a good
I
bird.
I feel that way about white meat, but I do like dark meat. So
Yeah.
my bird exceptions are dark turkey meat and duck.
I don't
I
like
love duck.
turkey
And
at all.
the problem is that like usually when people say turkey in America, they mean white meat,
Yeah.
which is also what they do with chicken. So part of me wonders if I ever successfully got chicken dark meat, maybe I would like the texture. Maybe my problem is with America rather than with
Yeah,
bird meat
it
in
is.
general.
Yeah, chicken breast is fucking inescapable in this country, but, I mean, everyone who's just even, like, sort of a 101 level home cook who, like, is into it and, like, cares, everyone will tell you, "Just make chicken thighs, please. Everyone, just go make chicken thighs. They're so much better. They're almost impossible to
I don't
overcook.
wanna make chicken.
They taste delicious. They're so much better. Chicken thighs
So
are just
yeah,
better."
so like there are things where it's like I'd be eating pizza and I'd be like, I don't really like pizza. And it's like it's because I never am like, I could really go for a pizza.
Yeah.
I'm just like pizza is it is easy to feed multiple people with a pizza, so we will get pizza because it is easy rather than strong pizza desires.
Something I
Yeah.
had to realize when talking about foods and with like family and stuff, it's actually not flavor aside from salt. I have a vendetta against salt, but aside from that, it's not really flavors that are my like uh turrent. That's not the
Mhm.
word I'm thinking. I don't know. Flavors are not what stops me. It is textures. Textures, it's always
Yeah.
textures. Like if you take broccoli and manage to make it still taste like broccoli but not have any of the broccoli textures, I will enjoy it. I can't the way the vegetables put together is awful to bite into. I don't like peas. I don't mind pea flavored things. I don't like biting into peas because they're like little eyeballs that you crush. I don't like biting cherries for the same reason. I don't mind if you mash up cherries in a blender, I will drink that. If you give me a cherry, I refuse to bite into it. It's bad. It's a bad thing. That's why I don't like hard or chewy things in my soft foods. If you give me ice cream and there's something hard in it, like a nut, how dare you? How dare you invite a different texture to the main texture? Don't like it.
Yeah. So for me it's like I don't really like bird meat textures, and I don't like squid or octopus textures.
Oh, I love a good squid. I
Do you think
love a
there are
good
people who
octopus.
like tune in
Oh.
and hope we're going to talk about comics?
Sorry, everyone. Sorry. Sorry. But hey,
But
it's 10, so
but anyway, this is my indifference to food is why I'm the only person on this call that has consumed Soylent. At least I think I am.
I haven't
Unless
done it because it's expensive and
yeah.
that's it. That's really the only reason.
I'm very lazy.
No, understandable, but I'm saying like it is cheaper to make a healthy meal than it is to buy Soylent. However, that is time to cook and you don't want to cook.
yeah.
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 It is not
But
that I'm opposed to Soylent and I would never drink it. It's just
yeah.
I can't afford that. I would
Yeah,
rather spend the time.
But it is 10 and I want to go.
No.
Okay.
Yes, I want to go. I'm hungry. It's time for me to go. So would y'all be cool with closing out here? Because otherwise you can just keep
Yeah.
going without me.
No, I'm joking. I'm very Spike. I'm so
Did you
Yeah.
miss all the times Amanda
Yeah.
said she's sleepy?
Yeah.
I'm
So
fine.
let's close it out, everyone. Hi and bye. I am Spike. You can find me on Twitter at iron_spike. You can also find me on co-host and pillow fort as Iron Spike, all one word. On co-host, I have a comic called Ordinary, which is about
Okay,
2
time's
months.
up, Kel.
Wow.
I'm joking.
Really?
It was a joke. It was a joke. 100% a joke.
On co-host, you can find me at Iron Spike, all one word, where I do a comic called Ordinary about 2 monsters who are friends. On Pillow Fort, you can find me at Iron Spike, all one word, where I do a comic called Blacata, which is about commie elves. Yeah, I run Iron Circus Comics. Please visit us at ironcircus.com and peruse our wares. We make the strange and amazing.
I'm Kel. I make comics you can read at kelmcdonald.com. My main webcomic is about gay werewolves in the future. And you can read that for free on my site. I also have a Patreon where I make a comic about 23 kids that got the same prophecy dream called You Are the Chosen One. You can read that on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/kelmcdonald. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights at twitch.tv/kelmcdonald. I am on several social medias, but they're all linked on my website and Patreon, so just follow them there.
I'm Amanda Lafrene. My website's in the description. Bye.